Good day. This is Dr. Dempsey again On Call with Doc Dave. And this is episode number 13. And this is a current affair episode. I thought I would bring this to everybody's attention since the bird flu virus is currently on all the news and on everybody's mind. And I want to give you the current information available on this. And, things to avoid, things to do, and how to treat it, and what symptoms to look for. So the bird flu virus is what's called an avian flu virus. It's usually found in wild ducks, geese, storks, some chickens, and turkeys. It's a strain of an influenza virus, and your symptoms are very similar to the flu, which I'll go over in a minute. This influenza virus affects birds and occasionally humans. So, you got to just watch out for sick birds, dead birds. It can pass from human to human as well by aerosol, like coughing and sneezing, but that's pretty rare, especially if you have your flu shot. You do not find this virus in beef, chicken, or eggs, especially if the eggs have been cooked well. You don't want to be eating raw eggs right now. The symptoms usually come on 2 to 8 days after the exposure, and it's a common flu symptoms. You feel just like you got the flu. You got a cough, a fever, a sore throat, myalgias, arthralgias, sore muscles, sore joints, fatigue, headache, shortness of breath, and sinus congestion. Now, this virus is found only in milk that has not been pasteurized. I want to emphasize that. Again, only in unpasteurized milk. It is killed by pasteurization. Any temperature above 165 degrees will kill this bird flu virus. So, 99% of us do drink pasteurized milk, but don't get exposed to anything that's been unpasteurized. So how do you diagnose this? Now you got the symptoms, you kind of understand a little bit about the bird flu virus. The diagnosis is from the above symptomatology, the flu-like symptoms, and specifically by lab testing of nasal or throat or even eye secretions. They take a swab and they look at the antigen for the flu. It's a type A flu antigen, just like they would take a swab if they were checking you for the flu virus yourself. Now, how do you treat this? Again, it's treated just like you would treat the flu. You treat it with an antiviral medication. Usually everybody has heard the word Tamiflu. Tamiflu is quite effective, but it has to be taken within 48 hours of the onset of symptoms. If you've had the symptoms for 4 or 5 days, forget the Tamiflu isn't going to be helpful. So now, and the flu vaccine obviously is preventative. So, what do you avoid? Well, you avoid contaminated surfaces that people have been exposed to. Maybe somebody was, had some exposure, got the bird flu virus. You got to wipe everything down with an antiseptic, Clorox or similar, just like we did with the COVID virus. Everybody remembers that. And the other thing is avoid people coughing and sneezing on you. Wear a mask if you're going to be in an area where you're going to be exposed to a lot of people that maybe you're concerned about this. But this isn't easily contagious like the COVID was. So, you don't have to revert back to all that crazy COVID stuff that we did a couple of years ago, where every time you stepped out the front door, you had to have a mask on. You had to be carrying hand sanitizer. You don't really need to do that because, the surfaces that are contaminated are usually from people that you know are already sick, or if you're working in the poultry industry specifically. Things to do, preventative things. Wash surfaces with antiseptics, like I mentioned. Wash your hands constantly. Avoid touching your nose and your eyes, especially if you got symptoms. Avoid aerosol contact. If somebody around you is sick, put on a mask. It doesn't hurt. And avoid dead birds or any secretions of dead birds. So that's kind of the bird flu virus that's currently out there now in a nutshell. I hope this was educational. If you liked it, you know what to do. If you really liked it, you also know what to do. And remember, if any of these symptoms come on, contact your doctor right away, your healthcare provider. I'm your friend, and I am your friend. That's why I'm doing these podcasts. But I'm not your doctor, even though I'm a doctor. Okay, so let's make sure we remember that and keep that straight. So I will see you soon for another enlightening episode. Thank you.